Vincent, you wake up to the sound of bells echoing outside the window across the entire city of Lunastra. The morning bells that Davil told you about. You planned on waking up very, very early for this, but that's kind of difficult without any noticeable light level changes. And especially because you've been foregoing sleep these past few weeks to take care of Renaer, you find yourself sleeping in a little bit up until those morning bells hit, to the point that when you finally do awake, Ladara is already gone. The bed's been made. She's already stepped out. Renaer is still there, breathing, resting.
Damn, she didn't even tell me. What time is it? Jeez. And I'll sort of roll out of bed quietly.
You make your way out of bed. The bed, rarely, like very little disturbance just from you moving at all. Doesn't shake Renaer as you make your way out. Davil sort of sleepily in his clothes from yesterday kind of steps out of his room at about the same time as morning, Vincent.
Yeah, good morning.
Did you see them leave already?
No. But yeah, Ladara's gone. They must have gone shopping already.
I guess they woke up earlier than us.
Did Adjnor not wake you?
No. He was already gone along with Auda, so I suppose Ladara's gone as well.
Did they leave you like a note?
Not that I could see.
Huh. They should be fine. I'm sure they told us where they're going, so
Yeah, I have a way to contact them anyways.
Right.
So they probably just got an early start and it's fine. It's nice to sleep in.
Yeah.
We've got a big day ahead of us, and it's going to be a bit of a journey, but thankfully you've got one of the best Salankari drivers in all of the city with you. He says, a kind of a smile across his face, but he's a little flat in his delivery.
Great. Yeah. So what do I gotta bring here? Do I have to bring money? Do I have to pay a lot of money for this, or should we bring Renaer?
You won't need coin on you. It should be fine. The healing services of the city are free, which, yes, I know it's a little bit of a foreign concept, but
Free healthcare?
It's a little bit of a foreign concept, but the city pays the healing services quite well, and so there's no charges for the actual patients.
Perfect.
We're going to load Renaer up into the Salankari, and then we are going to make our way over to the new quarter.
Okay. Sure, yeah. Then let's go as quick as we can, right?
Quick as we can. I should... I haven't been in a very long time, so I may not remember it too well, but the process should be quick. I have a friend that is a physician there.
Right. Okay.
You're looking at me as though you don't believe me, or...
No, yeah, you know a lot of people in this city, so...
He stares back at you and says, yes, yeah, I know a lot of people. And my friend is quite important in the temple.
Important.
Yes,
Yeah.
I helped him out a long time ago.
Yeah.
We should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both just kind of...
He looks him up and down. Right. Important. Big shot, yeah.
Okay, well, not like that. I wasn't trying to brag about it. I was just trying to say, oh, you know what? Let's go. Let's get rid of it.
It's not that I think you're bragging. Let's just hope you're right.
He takes a deep sigh and he says, well, we'll get Renaer, and you and I will have our little adventure. All right?
Great. All right.
he loads Renaer onto his back.
Go get him and help him. Yeah.
As he carries him downstairs. Oh, God. This man is pure beef. As he's carrying him down the stairs. Oh, it's so dense. He's trying to move him across the street. He's
All right, come on.
I wasn't made to carry things. I wasn't made for heavy lifting operations. I'm more dexterous. God, as he's crossing the street. I mean, whatever help you can offer. If you could lift the legs or something, I don't know how we're gonna hold them.
Can I? Would you allow me to try to see if I could carry him all by myself?
Make a strength check.
The saddest strength in the world.
What'd you get?
I got a 6.
He starts to unload Renaer onto your back. This man is pure beef. He's so heavy. He's dead. You start to feel it, like the weight of Renaer on your shoulders. As soon as he's like, nope, you're losing him. You're losing him.
No,
you're losing him. Okay, and he says as he picks him back up. Together. Let's just drag him out.
Arms on both sides.
Arms on both sides, feet dragging. Renaer being dragged through the streets by Davil and Vincent.
My boyfriend's too hot.
My boyfriend's too beefy.
He's too beefy.
Davil, eventually, you both reach the lot where you have your Salankari taken care of by these attendants who seem to be giving them the same feed that Davil was giving, as well as brushing them with these wet brushes, brushing some of the slime off of them. Eventually, coming upon your Salankari, you are able to load Renaer into the back with a lot of effort. He's like, all right, let's lift 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the back seat. Says, all right, buckle him in. I don't even care about sitting him up.
I will sit him up.
Buckle him. Okay.
And then get him right. Get him upright.
Davil looks at the attendants. Thank you for your service. And then
we've got an unconscious man.
And then sits him in the front as the attendant's like, should I just call someone in his head?
We should put little sunglasses on him with his eyes open.
You were a weekend at Bernie's him, where he's got sunglasses on and he's like...
The sunglasses are like... Yeah.
They got googly eyes. You load Renaer into the back. Davil... I forgot to turn on this thing, but... Davil kind of takes his arm and just kind of like leisurely puts it over the side like this, like he's kind of leaning back. It's like, listen, it'll just look a little more natural if people think he's just asleep or something along those lines. Okay. Come on, he says as the runes alight on his hands and the Salankari makes its way through the little parking garage, which, I shouldn't have called it that just now, but it is what it is. Down the ramps and around the city, Davil going at a reasonable speed, still a little bit fast. You see him eventually, as he makes his way through these smaller streets, you can see that there's a point where it gets backed up a little bit. Where there's a lot of Salankari all lined up down this street, all going the same direction. Davil's like, morning traffic.
Oh my god.
I did not miss this.
Morning traffic?
Traffic, it's what... Snaffic is what we should have called it.
No.
It's just, this is the entrance to the central snail way.
Can we take a shortcut? Is there a detour?
This is the fastest we can. Listen, we saw how my detours went last night. Listen, this is the fastest way to the new quarter. And you sit there with Davil in morning Snaffic. For quite a while.
I'm gonna look around me, see if there's any any extra roadways that we could take that are.
You can make a perception check, sure.
Maybe not. Maybe I just have to wait. Maybe I just have to wait in traffic. 14.
The 14. You are looking around for any other roads or whichever that people are taking, and the roads here that the Salankari can even use are pretty well designated. Like, there are places where maybe you could cut down an alleyway and then you realize absolutely this snail would get stuck halfway down this alleyway. And by the time that you have assessed all your options, Snaffic is moving, and you are joining what looks to be this sort of circular, large road, all going in one direction as Davil suddenly picks up speed along with the rest. A bunch of giant snails all going down a central road.
Down a fucking highway.
I know, yeah. Doing this highway, basically, as
What is this?
You've never really seen anything like it. You are kind of amazed, the wind blowing through your hair, and the twilight sky still above you. It's not like morning where the sun is shining down on you all. It's still quite dark outside. You can see that the roads are pretty well lit, but there's a little bit of glow from the slime on the roads themselves. But you get to see just these beautifully designed giant snails all going in one direction, all zooming past each other, and as you cross certain thresholds, you see the color of the light just shift and change. As Davil is driving, is there anything you want to ask Davil, talk to him about, etc.?
So, he sits awkwardly for a good few minutes. So how long is this travel here to the temple?
It should only be, you just kind of speak up a little bit, it should only be, 10, 15, 20 minutes, if I know my way correctly. Davil is very much just like this intensely focused driver, and he's a little aggressive in how he drives, kind of speaking under his breath. There's somebody who he like kind of cuts someone off, and you see them kind of pass and be like, "Fuck you, dude!"
Oh my god!
And he's like, "I am using the road correctly. You're going too slow."
Davil, let's not get into any fights.
And as the person just sort of passes by, I know, sorry, the driving part, sometimes people can be really, really bad on the Salankari. And, as someone who's good at it...
You're really, really good at driving the snail.
It's just frustrating to see. As he's making his way down this zooming, just zoom. Fairly fast. I mean, not like 80 miles per hour, but you're going pretty fast. The wind's in your hair, the wind's in Davil's hair, as he's kind of and Renaer's hair, who is still like lying backwards. Like,
I'm gonna make sure he doesn't fall out.
Yeah, there's sometimes where he's slipping, but you're able to kind of hold on to him, and keep him close by until eventually, Davil takes a side road that eventually pulls into one of the smaller roads that you were kind of accustomed to seeing when you first came into the city. Eventually into this district where the light is just this kind of pale yellow. It's a little more reminiscent of daylight to an extent, though it's still quite dark around here. And making your way through the streets, it's less packed buildings and shops, and unlike the Harvest District where there was, restaurants as well, and it's more just open space. There are a lot of older looking architecture, pillars upon buildings that have been there for possibly centuries at this point, just from looking at them. A lot of historical sites and statues as well, and just well curated public gardens and stuff in a more, to describe it, a more reverent place. This district is also just much quieter than the rest of the city. There aren't people shouting and advertising their shops. There aren't people having loud, open conversations with each other, making their way through the streets. There are just people silently taking in the sights. Salankari making their way down the streets. Drivers themselves just taking in the atmosphere. Anything in particular you're looking for or doing, talking about?
Have you been down here before, Lot?
Davil sort of taking the reins and going slowly down these roads and said, I, surprisingly, despite my abilities, I wasn't very religious, but, I used to take a peek down here. It was peaceful.
Is it just religious? Is this, like, just for temples? Or do people live down here, or...?
Well, the housing districts are the Gibbous and the Crescent districts. So most people don't live here except for people of the clergy. This area is more just built for temples of all kinds. There are temples to different gods, etc., temples to different, temples that have to... they've kind of expanded out to guilds as well. Recently they've built a Temple of the Morning Lord in these parts, which we will avoid based on your prior experience. But they don't have nearly as much influence in this city, as you can probably tell.
Huh. Is this where the branch of the Magus Academy is?
Branch of the Magus Academy, I think, is on the opposite side. It's in the district we are staying in, which is in the full quarter. We are in the new quarter.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
They are built sort of towards the center, so technically the temple we will be visiting is adjacent or close to that Magus Academy area, but at the same time it's, difficult to, accidentally end up there.
Right. Good. Yeah.
You all right?
Mm-hmm. What?
Well, it just seemed you seem a little nervous, and I know that that's kind of, calling out a fish for swimming, but more so than usual.
No, I'm fine. Just want to know what's around.
If you wanted to visit the Magus Academy, I think they may have a way for you to...
No, I'm alright. I'm good. Seen enough of the one back in Siniath, so...
Insight check.
Fuck.
Make a deception check.
15.
Davil gives you a look and just kind of notes it and says, "All right then." But he doesn't believe you.
He's not making eye contact.
As you snail around down the streets, eventually finding another place to, saddle your Salankari. This time in less of like a compact like building area and more just like an open field area in which they can kind of roam and everything like that. This place is a lot more like parks and fields and just like these like artificial installations of nature that are here. It's a very beautiful district, and it provides the clearest view of that central temple.
All right, here, help me get him down.
Not this again. As he puts him on the shoulders, and then you load him back up.
Come on, Davil.
Okay, I'm trying.
Come on, keep up.
You can see as you've got about as close as you can. There's just there's like a proximity in which there are just no Salankari roads. Like the closer you get to the center, the more it's just you've got to walk from here. And everyone seems to respect that, as you can see that center temple. This tower, wide at the base, with these enormous stained glass windows depicting these different images. Right now, you can see what looks to be a woman on that window. You're not too sure, but you can make a religion check if you would like.
9.
So, just looking at it, all you see is a woman wreathed in moonlight, wearing long, flowing robes that are pale in this depiction, and outstretching a guiding hand outward in this beautiful stained glass display that towers above the city. Make a perception check now.
Oh, shit. Hey, not bad. 21.
Looking into that stained glass, the closer and closer you get, it becomes more difficult to see the whole image the closer you get, but you still get that sense of presence. But what becomes more and more apparent as you look is the source of that light. You can see something deep within that stained glass, and you can see just slightly through it as you can make out other layers of glass that may be beyond this. But there is something in there that is projecting this light. It's not just some kind of magical effect or fixture. There is something beyond the glass.
Noted.
Eventually making your way through the city streets, dragging Renaer the whole way, who is very heavy. You come upon this central entrance. A large set of stairs that move up to this central temple, to a massive, ornate sort of cathedral door that is wide open. And coming from the inside of it, a line. A long, long line that stretches all the way down the stair in rows. Davil looks this. What? No, it's all right. Don't worry. I told you I have a friend. Just follow my lead. We're going to move past these people.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Do I see anybody coming out? Coming out?
I mean, you see people coming out. Yeah, you see there's an exit that people seem to be coming out from, a side door.
Okay, so they're not passing me. They're at a different exit.
Oh yeah. Basically, my Catholic church had a big door, but then there was also little side doors that you could go into.
There was a vestibule, and then there were side.
Exactly.
I was gonna ask how long they were waiting.
Go ahead and, this is easy. You are able to turn to. There are people leaving, but they're not leaving in huge droves. There's not a huge line of people all coming out. It's
every so often
it takes you a while, and then every so often somebody comes out.
Yeah.
And as soon as someone comes out, they're all in the same state. They're either just the happiest that they can be. They are taking in breaths of fresh air, or but they're happy and they're feeling like $1 million. And then there are other people who are happy and they are in tears. Like they are surrounded by people who are all crying with them as they make their way down the stairs.
But they're happy?
They're happy. They're smiling.
Huh.
Everyone is smiling. And you're able to kind of catch a party that I would say probably one of these people who are crying a little bit.
I feel like I would catch
whichever.
the vibe, maybe.
Yeah. So you're able to catch someone who's kind of just happy.
Yeah.
And they sort of look at you. You can see that they've got this silvery white hair. They're much older, and they're wearing their clothes and they're taking in life. And then look at you.
Excuse me. How?
Oh yes.
How long did you wait to get up there? Just curious.
I registered my appointment weeks ago.
Yes, great. Yeah, that's.
I've finally been seen, and I feel amazing.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth the wait.
So, is it only by appointment? Do you know? You don't work here, but
I know that they take. There's a wait list, yes, but it's to be expected, and there are people that come from across the nations to get treatment from the Lunar Quartet.
Yeah, sure, a lot of people come across a really long
Davil
way.
says, "Thank you for your time," and sort of separates you. Vincent.
Are there any other places?
No, Vincent.
There's got to be another temple that can do the same thing, right?
There are. The Temple of the Morning Lord can also provide healing services if that's what you want to go with.
2 weeks? I can't wait that long.
Vincent, I know something. It's all right. We can figure it out. Just if you want, I can stay with Renaer and wait in the line. You can go around the city.
No. Just can you find the person that you know?
Okay. We're going to pass the line. Just act natural, like you belong. We're going to make our way to the front.
Okay. Should I wait for you to do that, or should I just...
No, just come with me.
Okay.
Just come with me.
All right.
Right? Hey, we're going to be fine. I've got my way around. Got this. You...
He just looks at him. He just stares at him.
You and Davil begin to make your way up the steps of the cathedral. the imposing form of the Temple of the Fractured Mother above you, and the crowds and crowds of people that have sought its healing for God knows how long. And that's where we'll take a break. Hello, this is Christian, the Dungeon Master for the Strings of Fate, and welcome to the break. That's right, I talked with the players a lot about things I wanted to try out in this arc, and a lot of great ideas came in, and one of those ideas was to break away from conventional D&D storytelling and to split the party. We very much just took this idea from different shows that we really like, where basically the main party splits up and they all have their different storylines, but they reconvene at random and fun points. And I thought it would be a cool way to test out complex storytelling and also to give myself a headache in terms of timekeeping and location keeping and making sure that all of these people weave together at some point. So today we are starting with Vincent's solo session. I'm going to be trying to do my best to make sure that no one gets confused about timelines and stuff through a bunch of handy-dandy editing and also handy-dandy storytelling devices that I hope work out really well. That means a couple things. That means the episodes are going to be a little shorter for the solo sessions, and that means that not everyone will be at the table. In fact, sometimes it'll be one person, sometimes it'll be two people. It will change drastically depending on what the story calls for, but just to reassure you of some things, 1, the party still has no idea what's going to happen. They just know that I'm calling them in for solo sessions. 2, I still have no idea what's going to happen, whereas I have some things mapped out for possibly happening, but at the end of the day, it's what they choose to do, and it's just my job to make sure that somehow it connects together. So we're going to have fun. That's the main part of it. Speaking of fun, we have a giveaway for you. We have teamed up with Dungeon Depths again to give away a beautiful Moonlighters themed Jumbo D20. It's a beautiful gradient. To go see it as well as the terms of entry, go ahead and check out our social media right now. If you don't already know what Dungeon Depths is a gaming store dedicated to quality gaming supplies with character. That's right, Dungeons and Dragons stickers. That's right, apparel. That's right, soft pod merchandise. It's all over the place. Oh my gosh, I can't even hold all this soft pod merchandise. Whoa! Anyways, I thought that was funny. Right now, if you go to the Dungeon Depths store at shopdungeondepths.com, you can get 10% off your order if you use the code SOFTPOD at checkout. That's SOFPOD. Thank you, Dungeon Depths, for sponsoring us. Speaking of sponsoring us, that's right, Roll20 also sponsors this show. We are part of the Roll20 Spotlight. Well, what does that mean? I'm glad you asked, viewer. Roll20 is a virtual tabletop that allows you to connect with the people you love to play the games you love over the internet. If you're looking to connect with people and have a good old battle map in front of you or just a place to keep your campaign organized, Roll20 is an option for you. So go check them out at roll20.net. Thank you, Roll20. We are also sponsored by you, the viewer. That's right, because we have a Patreon. Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. I'm going to take a moment here to read a couple names from our honorary bard tier. Thank you so very much to Jay, Courtney, Astrid, Dungeon Depths, Olivia, Venus, Emma, Leon, Valentina, Pepper, and Orpheus. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means the world to us. A huge shout out and a big thank you to the Softcore as well. A huge motivation for us, and just in terms of the show. We love having you all. It's really been a huge blast. And this community quite literally wouldn't be what it is without the Softcore. Thank you to the mods as well for running that community and being just a constant force for good at all times. Thank you also for being there for me to bounce my ideas off of. It's always such a huge honor to have such an amazing community already, and we are always very excited to listen along with you. So hi, Softcore. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's okay.
Hope everyone's feeling good on this Friday or whenever you're listening to this. Hey, but I'm rambling now at this point. And so the show must go on. Thank you for joining me for this break. Stay tuned for more fun writing, all lighthearted stuff. You know how we like to do it here at the Strings of Fate. No emotional whiplash whatsoever. Anyways, bye!
After a long and somewhat awkward walk up these stairs, cutting through this line, you try not to make eye contact with people. No one really calls you out or anything along those lines, but people are definitely looking. As you make your way into these expansive halls, these old carved pillars that stretch up to the ceiling in these stonework murals of what you can only assume to be the deity of this place. I believe we've talked about it before, the Mother Night. You make your way through, your footsteps echoing even in the crowded conversation of the people in line, eventually making your way to what looks to be this stonework kind of desk area where there are several people sat. Davil takes the next open spot.
Please. I'm gonna give him bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I'm gonna just be like, Davil, so help me God, you better make this work.
Sat at that desk in this sort of these dark robes, and with this sort of grayish purple skin, very neatly styled hair. It's a very interesting display because they're dressed basically like a cleric of, the Mother Night of the Moon. And as soon as you look up, they're very clinical and clerical. And they look up to you and sort of say, "Oh, hello, yes. Were you looking to get an appointment to be seen?"
Davil?
Oh, yes. Yes, we are looking for an appointment. We are looking to see one of the Lunar Quartet. And, the princess, that's... Oh, fantastic. Okay, perfect. So, I've got you down here. They sort of go through a logbook and start looking down. Okay, looks like the next opening is... I think in 2 months or so, we can get you seen. And just, no, I don't think that will be necessary. I'm owed a favor by bard laws, and the person kind of stops and looks up at him and says, "Lars?" Jill says, "Yes, the member of the Lunar Quartet. I saved him once. I don't want to make a big deal about it, but I was part of an adventuring group.
This isn't going well, is it?
They may have been called the Doom Raiders." So you're like, you're like,
Vincent's like crushed right now.
The receptionist kind of clears his throat. I don't. When was this favor given out? And Davil says, "Oh, I mean, it's been a while. I haven't been back to the city in nearly a decade." And the person kind of cuts him off a little bit and says, "I don't know how to tell you this, sir, but Bard Lars took his leave." And Davil kind of blinks and says, Oh, he took his leave. Interesting. Okay, well, so he's retired within the city somewhere." And the receptionist cuts him off again. Says, "No, he left on his journey." Go ahead and make a history check or an arcana check for me.
Oh my god.
As what'd you get?
A natural 1.
You are so internally panicked right now, hearing this conversation. Just this crushing, this has been built up for weeks for you, like this crushing realization. And you are feeling this, and then you see Davil's face, who goes pale as he says, his journey? What do you mean? He was only what, like 100? He was only 20 years older than me. How could he go on his journey already? Which is, I don't know the details, so I just know that he's no longer. And listen, there's got to be someone that I can talk to or something. It's an emergency. This man he's very sick, and we just need someone to see him. And the receptionist looks towards you, who is also panicked.
His mouth is just like hanging open. I don't know that he has 2 months.
Okay, if it's an emergency, we can get him seen by someone. It won't be one of the Lunar Quartet. There's too many patients for them to see already on this list. There are so many people. We can see. If it's an emergency, we can get them seen by other physicians in our care. It won't be them. There are so many thoughts that are bouncing inside of your head. This sinking feeling. These past 2 months of watching Renaer's condition get worse and being told that Lunastra is where it would happen. The plans that you had built for months, thinking everything through, every possibility, only to be stopped at the door. It is a mix of pleading and frustration, and no one to direct it at, and no one but you, Davil, and Renaer. How's Vincent feeling?
He's feeling a little defeated. Almost like he kind of knew this would happen. And he's trying to think of anything he can do to fix it. He doesn't really know what to say to a clerk who doesn't have, the space, doesn't have the time to help him. And also seeing that long line of people, knowing that like all of those families and loved ones are the same as him, and he's not special. So what right does he have to ask to be put first,
And even though there used to be a malicious voice that would be there this time, all there is you. And in this moment, it feels somehow worse. As Davil, nearly just babbling and trying his best to regain his composure, you can see that there are people starting to take note, official people. And this cleric who is sitting at this desk has no idea what to do with this escalation.
It's Davil. I'm sorry for the intrusion. If you have anyone who is able to help with this.
If it's an emergency, then we can.
I think it is.
Then we'll have him seen by some. But I'll recommend you to a physician to be seen, something along those lines, and we can see about getting it. Just give me a second.
The Lunar Quartet, they're here in this building or no?
He hesitantly replies, "Yes, they are. They're located in the upper levels."
If I may be so bold, to ask for an audience with just one of them for 5 minutes. If not, I understand. They must be very busy, but yeah. You must deal with this a lot every day, huh? So I understand if it's not something you can help me with.
The cleric looks and is kind of wordless. You can see that this cleric isn't mad or isn't annoyed by this situation. I mean, there is some empathy. And in that empathy, you can see your answer. He must have seen this so many times. And I'd like you to make a persuasion check for me.
27.
Okay. You are speaking, and you hear a stammering voice saying, "I don't know if I can." You see his eyes kind of go wide, and you hear gasps from behind you, and the sound of shoes as the room of people murmuring and talking about this disturbance and people murmuring and talking in line goes quiet. You hear him say, Lunar songstress, as someone is walking up behind you.
Oh shit.
And you hear a voice speak out, say, "I can have an audience with him." And you turn around, and standing there in these flowing, pale robes, this almost regal attire with a glow about them, you see a pink tiefling. And that's where we'll end.